What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the Ben Thomas Show. Thanks for coming back. I was not going to make this video, folks, but I feel compelled to tell you how I feel now about this figure and this television show. This is going to be as non-spoiler as humanly possible, but this figure that Hot Toys has now given us has changed the game for what I was thinking with regards to entertainment, my collection, and a whole bunch of things. So guys, stick around if you like the video, hit the like button, smash the subscribe if you're new to the Ben Thomas Show, and let's get into it.
I give you Ben Thomas Showtime. Here we go.
Okay guys, welcome back. So I've seen a lot of channels say that they haven't seen this particular show yet, so it's hard to comment on the figure, and I honestly felt the same way. When this was teased last week, I was kind of like, it looks cool, it's colorful, it's beautiful, but I have no attachment to it. I never played the League of Legends video game. I thought that would be a prerequisite for being able to enjoy this show, and I can honestly say that was not the case. This last couple days, I've watched all 18 episodes that were available. The first season really truly got me there, but when I first started the show, I will say that the first 2 episodes started off on a bit of a slow note for me. I wasn't like 100% bought in yet. By the end of the 3rd episode, I was 100% hooked. I wanted to know how the character of Powder ends up becoming this Jinx person, and what her name means, and how she relates to this story, and what will happen with this character. This show looked like it was literally hand-painted scene for scene. It reminded me a little bit of like BioShock meets the Spider-Verse in terms of animation. The music, the soundtrack was awesome and engaging. The action, the visceral violence was there. This did not feel like a kid's show at all. I don't know what the rating of the show was, but certainly not for a young audience. This is for adults. And Jinx was absolutely a character that I did not expect to love as much as I did, but I also didn't expect to love another character that I'm shocked Hot Toys hasn't also teased along with this figure yet. I loved her sister Vi. Her sister Vi is truly a huge element in how this character becomes Jinx. And again, I don't want to give anything away if you're still thinking about watching the show, but I want you guys to see the excitement in my face because I was shocked how much I enjoyed this. Jinx is almost like a Joker character. She's not even, like, people have been saying she's like Harley Quinn. I wouldn't say that. She stands alone on her own terms. Every scene she's in as Jinx, she's maniacal. She's both scary, but also loving. She's a sympathetic villain. You understand who she is and what's twisted her to become the character that she is. And yet, she does things that are horrific and awful and make it really difficult to side with her. And the whole time, you root for her sister Vi to bring her back from the edge. And so I would say that for this particular figure, I almost think that she needs her sister Vi as another announcement from Hot Toys. If you're gonna give us Jinx, you gotta give us at least Vi. Now let's look at this figure as well. The paint job here, beautiful. I love the fact that they've been able to figure out somehow getting the tattoo imprinting on the seamless body. That's been something that notoriously I've been told anyways is very hard to do, if not impossible. And it looks amazing here. The seamless nature of this figure really brings it to life. And even though it's a different art style than the rest of my collection here is very movie realistic. This is like a futuristic feeling, steampunk, artistic approach to animation, and I loved it. And I honestly think that this would stand out in the collection alongside the figures that I have, or in its own display potentially. Now, I gotta say, they did not miss on these accessories either. Her little bomb that she has, throughout the whole series, you get to see that she's also kind of a tech wizard. She didn't always start out as this badass fighting machine that we see in front of us here now. She was young and cute and innocent and just wanted to add her brain and science to the technology pieces to help her family live in this underworld against the rich population above. The story itself is so rich, and there's so many different storylines that come together, and I can honestly say all of those storylines felt very complete to me by the end of the second season. But I will also say that Jinx here needed accessories like the little bomb to show the evolution of the character, where she become, how she became this maniacal, genius, insane person that you see on the screen who talks to ghosts and talks to herself and yet still has that inner child within her. And the gun that she comes with, it iconically points it at a couple different characters throughout the show in a very badass way. I love that they gave us that hand pistol cannon. That thing is awesome. And the shark rocket, without giving any spoilers away, plays in a really critical scene at the end of the first season. And it changes the game for what happens in the second. It's a great accessory to be included there as well, and I'm happy that we got it. Overall, I have to say that I'm really happy with this version. This is definitely the season 2 version of Jinx because of her pink eyes. In the first season, she has blue eyes. Again, there's a whole story element there that I don't want to give away, so you're gonna have to watch it. But I'm happy that they gave us the season 2 version because I think once her eyes came through that like darkness in that artistic approach that they gave her in the second season, again, it added to the creep factor at times, but it also, again, showed the evolution of where she came from as Powder to Jinx. And I thought that was a beautiful story. The figure here for $275 with all the accessories that it comes with. You get 2 different head sculpts. I love that it comes with her long pigtails that are clearly, dynamically posable, which is awesome. A little bit of wiring in there, obviously. I think that this character, if you love the show, is going to 100% stand out in the collection as a beautiful piece. Now, I've seen a few of you say, well, Ben, I don't want just the Jinx. I want Vi, her sister. I want her. And I understand that. But because she's such a sympathetic villain, I also think that there's a power for her to stand on her own. So if they don't give us Vi, I still think that having just Jinx in there could be amazing. We don't get very many villains that we can relate to. I think of Thanos sometimes as a villain that we can relate to. Some of my favorite villains of all time are villains that you kind of understand where they're coming from and why they've become villains, and yet you can't necessarily root for their actions either. It pits our heart against the character, somebody that we want to root for, somebody that we want to see come back from that edge of darkness. And for me, that's Jinx. I think I'll feel that every time I see the character in my display. I didn't expect to enjoy this show as much as I did, and I honestly have to recommend it. But give yourself the chance to get to the end of the 3rd episode of the first season. If you're not hooked by that point, you probably won't enjoy the show. But after that point, I would say that's when I truly, truly knew that I had to see what happened until the end. And I felt compelled to make this video because I went from being somebody last week that said, I'm not going to pick this up, I've never seen the show, I've never played the game, I have no connection to it. Well, it gave me a connection that I cannot argue. But I also gotta say, this gives me a lot of hope for what Hot Toys might give us in the future, right? If video games can become shows that are popular like this, then what other cool characters could we see? Could we see a God of War at some point in this kind of animation style? Or any other video game that you can think of that could make a great show, so many of them. Could they all end up coming in a Hot Toys display? Maybe. This gives a lot of hope for the future and what Hot Toys is willing to do. I'd love to see some of the guards, I'd love to see some of the other characters, but I don't think we're going to really get all of those. I wouldn't even get the other League of Legends figures that they've shown us because that's more from the game and not necessarily from this show. So for me, if it's just Jinx, that's fine. If it's Jinx and her sister at some point, Vi, I totally get it. But at the same time, I'd love to hear from you guys in the comments down below. Have you done what I've done? Have you heard about this show, seen this figure, wanted to know if this would be something you'd be interested in ever collecting, not wanting to miss the boat just in case? Not to create FOMO, but this show made me want to buy this figure, and I just wanted to share that with you guys. So if you liked the video, let me know what your thoughts on the show are. Let me know what your thoughts on this figure are. Are you picking it up? Yes or no? Do you need a Vi in the collection as well? Where's your heart at? If you guys liked the video, hit the like button, smash the subscribe if you're new to the Ben Thomas Show, and we'll catch you on the next one. Thanks for watching, everybody.
I'll be back.